Is it possible to shoot cinematic and polished videos in a way that doesn't require a lot of money? No big cameras or lights, no expensive lenses and all that stuff. And how to get the maximum out of your smartphone so that your viewers think your video was made by real movie makers? Well, let's find out. Hi, my name is Roman and this is the Movavi vlog, your go-to channel for making greater videos. And in today's episode, I'm going to show you how to shoot a cinematic video with just your smartphone. And I promise for that you won't need any extra purchases like a gimbal or some special lenses. Today, I'm going to be telling you 8 tips for shooting cinematic videos with the gadgets that you already have. So don't forget to give this video a huge like, subscribe to the channel, and let's get started. Well, tip number 1. When you think about shooting cinematic videos, you probably think about expensive equipment, but in reality, you can shoot a professional looking video just using your good old smartphone. I mean, not too old, of course. But still, you don't have to look for any other source of equipment like a gimbal or something. I personally believe that the cinematic video is more about the skills and the knowledge that you have. So I recommend you to buy something new only after you have squeezed as much as you can from the equipment that you already have. Because even if you buy the high-tech equipment, you may not know how to use it. And most likely this new gadget will just dust on your shelf. Trust me, you probably aren't getting the maximum out of your smartphone. So the first and the most important tip that we're going to be talking about is using your phone's settings and applications. Whether you have an iPhone or an Android phone, you will need to check a couple of settings at the very beginning. And having the right settings for your phone's camera is going to be essential for making your videos look more professional. So, first of all, go to your camera settings and ensure that you're recording at a resolution of 4K or more. If your phone doesn't allow you to shoot 4K, just make sure that you're shooting at the highest possible resolution in order to get the most quality image out of your phone. You can also change your frame rate and shoot in 60 frames per second, for example. That tip is going to allow you to slow down that footage later on, and is going to remove a lot of that camera shake that you often get when you shoot on mobile. When you slow down that footage, it's going to give you a much cleaner and more professional looking image. Slow motion also gives the effect that you're shooting on an expensive camera that can shoot high frame rates. So it's going to give you a more epic and even dramatic feel in the end. Another useful thing that you can do in the camera settings when shooting video on mobile is to lock your exposure. How to do it? Well, before you hit record on your phone, tap the screen and slide the exposure bar up and down until you get the image that you're happy with. It's going to allow you to hold the exposure on that place or object when you're moving around and shooting. This way, it's not going to have the camera's autofocus or auto exposure. You also may have noticed that expensive visual effects do not always make the picture cinematic. Sometimes to create an eye-catching video, all you need is decent raw footage and clean editing. All the basic video editing tools you might need are already included in the brand new Movavi Video Editor Plus 2021. In the new version, cutting footage and applying transitions to the video have become even more convenient. And also LUTs that you can find in the color adjustments section will help you bring a special atmosphere to your project. To get a 15% discount on this program, you just need to use our promo code VLOG15 or hit a page with the discount directly from the description below or the attached comment. The next tip, which is essential for making your footage look cinematic, is the movement. One of the biggest mistakes that most people make when they're shooting on mobile is they stand in one position and pan from left to right or up and down. But this is nothing more than just changing the orientation in which your camera is faced. It's not that kind of movement that we are looking for. We need more cinematic movements. So try to go around objects or move in and out from objects. It's much better than just standing in one position. It's going to change the way that your camera is facing as well. Of course, you can use a mobile gimbal or a tripod or a slider in that case, but if you don't have the budget for that, I would recommend you to change the way that you're holding your camera first. And what I mean by that is you have to hold your phone with your fingers around each corner of the phone. It's going to give you a solid grip and a full range of movement to turn and pull in and out in order to make all of those cinematic movements. The modern smartphones have pretty damn good stabilization, so you don't have to worry too much about getting a shaky shot. But if you want to get your perfect image, try to do your best to avoid any shaky camera movements. Now let's talk about the lighting. It depends on where exactly you are shooting your video, indoors or outdoors. Your outdoor scenes are completely sunlight dependent. So if you're outdoors, try to shoot during the golden hour, which basically means during early in the morning or right before the sun is about to set down. Don't stand directly underneath the sun because it creates very harsh shadows on your subject. So if you can, try to find a shade in a well-lit area. That would be the softest and the best way to shoot almost any video. And if you're going to have an indoor lighting space, try to bring in as many lights into a frame as you can. Well, until you overexpose it. But basically, a better lit video will be obviously looking better and also will give you tons of flexibility in the editing process. Tip number 4. The native cameras of most of the modern smartphones integrate different lenses or focal length. They often have a wide-angle lens, a normal lens, and a zoom lens. It's essentially allowing you to capture 3 different points of view. The wide-angle lens gives us more information and the zoom one gives us more details. So try to switch from lens to lens and look at the difference between them. Even more, I recommend you not to miss out this chance and shoot every shot or scene 3 times in each of these different options. During editing, you can select the most successful frame or combine all the 3 in your project. This is another great way to make your videos more immersive by showing different angles and different perspectives of a subject. So try to play with your focal length and shoot a wide angle, a medium angle, and also a tight angle with some details. Tip number 5. One of the signs of a cinematographic video is that soft focus, blurry background look, and it's possible to achieve when shooting on a phone if you have the right knowledge and the right technique. To do that, you have to find a focal point. It could be something small like a leaf on a tree or a cup of coffee on the table. Make sure that there is plenty of distance between your focal point and the background. Then you can select slow motion and get really close to the chosen object. Then you can lock your focus and exposure by tapping and holding on your focal point. That will prevent an exposure or focus to change halfway through your shot. As a result, it will give you that shallow depth of field look. After that, you can start recording and move around your focal point. And then you will get your subject in crisp focus and out of the focus background. This tip instantly gives your footage a much more cinematic and professional look. My next tip is going to disguise the fact that your video was shot on a smartphone. I'm talking about the color grade. The native camera apps on smartphones, in my opinion, are really highly saturated and highly contrasted. So if you want to make your image look more cinematic, you have to remove this effect. To do that, you have to lower the saturation and the contrast of your image in your editing suite. It's a very simple trick which can really improve the appearance of the entire frame. Tip 7. Most of the time we just shoot whatever we see in front of us. Yes, it could be a really cool location, but actually there's not much else to it. So one of the best things that you can do for your video is to include a point of interest into it. It could be a person or any kind of an object that's going to make your video more engaging and cinematic. Telling your viewers a story with your videos is the way more interesting than just showing a beautiful landscape or a cool location. This is because we are not interested in the pictures themselves, but in the stories behind those pictures. Including a person in your video also allows you to do a lot more and tell much more of a story. It also provides context to any sort of a place that you're showing in your video. And if you don't have anybody or anything to shoot, you can always shoot yourself. Place your phone in different locations and then walk into a frame, do something, and include yourself in your video. It will definitely make it more interesting. My last tip is kind of a bonus one, but it will also help you for sure. After you've made all your color adjustments and you've finished your editing, you can add a cinema crop to your image. It's basically just a black bar at the top and the bottom of the frame, which is going to sell the cinematic look and make it look a lot more professional. Well, that was it for today's video. I believe that if you combine all these tips and tricks, you can get the cinematic video which you could even use for your work projects. As I said before, and I really want to mention it again, the professional looking video is more about your skills and knowledge and not about the expensive or cool gadgets that you have. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know in the comments if this video was useful for you. My name is Roman and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.